Hello, once again. This analysis was a lot harder when the answer was staring me right in the face the whole time. So first, let's talk about my last Higurashi Sotsu video, just to refresh as well as update. In my last analysis, I brought up the idea that Higurashi Go is a series to get rid of Higurashi 7's regrets with how he handled Higurashi. When it came to Rena, he regretted not humanizing her enough. So in Sotsu, there's more scene of Rena freaking out and having little control of the situation, while at the same time also redeeming Rena's character. We also discussed Ryukishi's possible regrets with Satoko and Teppei, his regrets of making Teppei irredeemable as well as giving Satoko more depth and edge. Now for a quick update. In the second act in Sotsu, we see further proof of my theory from last episode, being true with Teppei being cautious of himself and apologetic towards Satoko. I actually really but think it's interesting how Teppei's relationship with Satoko has been, as it makes what happens later in Sotsu somewhat tragic for him. Whereas Satoko, we see much more cunning and manipulative side to her. This new side of Satoko is rather unique in the story of Higurashi, as Satoko is an active antagonist to our group. Takano, and to an extent, Nomura, was an inactive antagonist till she was confronted by the main group. They didn't really see our group as a threat. Alright, before I even start this, I really would like to recommend some videos. I'll be linking them in the description and comment below. There are great analysis on Mion and Shion that if you really like Go or need a refresher on these two characters, or heck just like Higurashi, please watch these two videos. So I feel the regret here is two things. One, a loop where Shion is in a less active role, whereas the other is getting to play with Mion as an active player. When I was trying to figure out what exactly Ryukishi's regret was with Mion, it took me a while to realize what was right in front of my face, cause he literally said it in the beginning of the arc. I kept overthinking it, thinking the regret was something deeper than what if Mion had the disease. However, there is a deeper thing going on with Mion as well as Shion. In this particular arc, we see Shion as a normal girl. Shion is associated with a lot of people, being a yandere, so this is a loop where we see her how she normally is. This is mainly all done for the side of perspective for a Shion that is normal. And to some people, this may sound a bit weird. Why would this perspective change anyone? Well, this perspective isn't really for returning people watching, but instead for newer people to get this perspective of Shion, who is not this crazy person. And no, I don't think that Shion is a really crazy person, but the disease really outshines her personality traits a bit more, make her a bit overdone in a sense of way. I think this is a really good idea, given that some people have a mentality that won't change just because of what they view. So getting someone new to tell them of what they view and have them see their perspective is something that may work better. May work better for presenting Shion in a more nuanced way than just basic yandere that a lot of people do. Let's talk about Mion now. This is a loop where Mion finally succumbs to the disease thanks to Satoko doping her. This is also weird because Mion shouldn't actually fall under the influence of the disease, because the one weakness to the disease is trust. Trust in others, and you can break out. We see this in the first loop with Keiichi for a second, where he breaks out of the disease and his paranoia to finally accept Rena. However, in the first loop, it's too late when he does it. Here, I think Mion does actually break out of it quite a few times, in fact. Allow me to explain. So, two scenes actually show this really well. The first being the scene where she kills Shion. In the scene where she kills Shion, after she murders her, she snaps back for a second and then kind of just loses it. She goes a bit crazy just realizing what she has just done. The second time is when she's interrogating her grandmother. I don't have the clip because I didn't bother grabbing it, but just know that I would have shown it if I had a clip. But this second time, she after she kills her grandmother, she's then seen interrogating her later, only to then when she realized, oh, she's already dead, then she snaps back again. In these two scenes, I also think that maybe the first time Mion snaps back is because she finally broke out, but then just went back in, as the shock from killing Shion is too much for her to bear, as we know that Mion has a gentler side to her. The second time, however, I actually think that she broke out of the disease fully. But why do I say that? Well, I'll explain in a bit. Like I said before, Mion is much more gentler than Shion and had she let out. Here, we see her be much more abrasive, much more, well, like Shion. In a sense, she actually taking on the role of Shion in this loop, instead of taking on the role of Mion. Shion, however, is different. Shion distrusts people because she doesn't believe that they will always have her back and doesn't know if they will always love her. Mion, on the other hand, is more distrustful because she has knowledge, but not full, complete knowledge. That also being said, I feel like Mion took on the personality of Shion in her head as much as he could. What I mean by this is similar to the beginning of the arc where she acts like Shion, being much more forward, much more open with her feelings. Here we see a negative side of her trying to portray Shion. I think in a sense it's much more how Mion envisioned what Shion would do in certain situations. For example, she cries when she kills Rika. She's heartbroken, really. However, when it comes to disposing her body, she just limply dumps her down without a care in the world of how her body would be or just the condition. She just carelessly drops it down the toilet. This isn't the same person that Mion would normally do. She wouldn't just carelessly drop a corpse like that. Instead, she would have caressed it well, like how she does it in the beginning. However, she very much might as well have developed the personality of Shion to do the much things that are harder for her. She can envision Shion doing that with a body, being so callous and not caring, but she can't envision her killing someone. At least not Rika, not for any reason. Again, it's not like Shion is a bad person. She is just rather blunt and just rather upfront. This is much more akin to her personality. This is how we've seen her act. So therefore, she can manipulate this type of behavior and the idea of thinking she is Shion, or playing the role of Shion. Now, I say all this to bring up the situation with Satoko. Later on, near the end of this arc, Satoko happened to drop in on Mion in the worst possible time. And she treats her not like a friend like she usually does, but like an enemy off the bat. She is distrustful. She's watching where she steps, making sure she keeps a certain distance from her. She even takes a loaded gun to meeting her. This isn't really something that the Mion we know would typically do. In fact, the Mion we know wouldn't have done any of that. The Mion we normally know would have brought the gun, wouldn't have kept such a distance, and wouldn't have been so secretive towards her friends. Well, she would keep secrets on her family, but she wouldn't keep secret about Rika, or she wouldn't be gloating about how she killed Rika. She wouldn't even be giddy about telling Satoko how she killed Rika and how she's like, hey, you'll never find her because she's in the toilet. She wouldn't really do that. But maybe Shion would. And I think the bigger reason why I think this Shion personality comes out more in this arc, especially near the end, isn't because of the disease in any way. But instead, it's the first time that Mion is doing something for herself. Her commitment to Keiji is her own good. Her whole thing with the family was also for them. This whole interaction with Satoko is only for her own paranoia. It's only for her own peace of mind. It's why she has to do this. Has to be this personality where she just have to be merciless to Satoko. She can't accept that this is who she is right now. She wants to believe that she is this cruel mistress that sadly isn't the same Mion that we are used to. She wants to believe that she is this cruel person because she has to be in order to finish everything she needs to do. The normal Mion would apologize, asking for Satoko's forgiveness, asking for everyone's forgiveness, no matter what. So I think this is Ryukishi 7's way of exploring characters and giving something to look for in the answer arcs for returning watchers or returning readers or whatever. It's his way of adding more, but also not dissonating the new fans and the old fans by giving both a new perspective. That being said, thank you so goddamn much for watching. I'm sorry this video took so long. The biggest reason why isn't because I took so long thinking of, hey, what was the regret? Although that was a factor. It because I kind of figured out what I think was a complete regret and what the whole thing with Higurashi Go is. And it made me contemplate how much I wanted to say in this particular video before I make the next video, being probably about Satoko. That being said, I also don't want to make the video too soon, so yeah. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a good day and take care.